plead innocent of all charges.
Talk about the good times with Talking Elvis.
Hi all, welcome to episode 8. I hope you've been listening to all of them so far. There will be a test at the end. It's Vince right here with another episode of Talking Elvis. And who's with me?
How on earth did we get to episode 8?
I don't know, mister. How the hell did we get to episode 8?
Hello, folks. Ian Grant once again.
We've done it again, haven't we? We've survived another week. We've got through.
Should we say we're in lockdown almost?
Well, yes. Another week's change. The Netflix drama that is Britain, the soap opera, has twists and turns you never saw coming.
After all this is over, there's going to be so many programs and dramas about this situation, isn't there? A bit like, because we've had it now. So if you go onto the Fox channel in the UK, certainly you've got War of the Worlds, and there's people. Nothing works on the streets. There's people lying around in the streets, and there's no electric and all this sort of stuff, no Wi-Fi, and all this sort of stuff. And that's War of the Worlds that's going on at the moment. We've had the Sky presentation of Cobra, where they had protests and they closed the country down.
And that's a bit inappropriate. All about the lager, isn't it? It's always Cobra lager or
Corona.
Corona, yeah.
Which is just crazy, but. Yeah, we're gonna be sick to death of this by the time it's finished, and we're gonna be sick to death of it by the time they finish making all the TV programs about it.
Are you getting confused with reality and TV? Because I keep thinking it'll be all right. Jack Bauer will turn up in a minute.
What I thought when I was watching, and I go back to War of the Worlds, what I thought when I was watching that the other day, and it's post-apocalyptic, after the Martians have invaded and all this sort of stuff, right? And the survivors are getting together. And they're huddling together in a hospital or a community hall. I'm thinking they're not socially distancing themselves by 2 meters. And should they be sharing that water bottle?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking because I'm thinking it's the same thing that's happening in the real world.
Yeah, but how many of them have got three packets of bog roll under their arm?
Well, there we go. We haven't had. We haven't had people breaking into shops and stealing all the toilet roll yet, but I'm sure that'll be on there. And now a word from our sponsor.
Folks, does your dog turn his nose up at the same old canned dog food and dried preparation? Then why don't you try fresh meat?
Talk about dogs now.
Size Pet Shop will deliver fresh, red, juicy horse meat wrapped in the size package you demand.
Stop. No.
All right.
Talking Elvis is a new podcast.
Well, it is what it is. We hope everybody's safe out there. We hope everybody's looking after themselves and looking after each other where they possibly can. And like I say, if you are sort of buying more than you should be at the shops, I hope you're distributing it around to your elderly neighbours and relatives. That's what we can say here.
Excellent news. So let's travel to our Elvis world, and hopefully if you've got a little bit of time and you can spend listening to podcasts at the moment, we'll hopefully keep you educated and entertained.
Indeed, and people are going to have a lot of time on their hands this next few weeks, aren't they? So
ain't that the truth?
Hello to you, and listen to us. Let's blow our own trumpet here.
Excellent. Yes.
Okay, so going along those same sort of lines, we have seen this week that's March the 21st, when that was Saturday. Graceland officially closed for business.
Yes, I saw that one.
They put an April the 3rd reopening date on it, but that's subject to stuff going on. Sun Studios in Memphis also closed, and the Tupelo birthplace also closed. So if you're planning to go there, folks, if you're in America, can't, which is a shame, but it's the right thing to do.
So what song from the Elvis back catalogue would we play if this was on the radio now? Oh, I'll have to think about that one. I'll come back to you that one in a minute.
I'm sure you'll have something in mind.
I'm sure it'll come up to me in a minute, but I haven't thought of one at the moment. So the news, all Corona related again. Anything else?
Well, they had the filming of the Elvis movie. They were doing little bits and pieces of that, but that whole thing has been closed down now. We've just heard this week as well. Of course, Tom Hanks and his wife, of course, were unfortunately
Wilson.
But the whole thing is closed down now, and so away from the virus thingy, there's a box. One of the Follow That Dreams of the American Sound Studio 1969 sessions apparently been deleted. There's no new copies of that anymore. So
they did buy it now, and that's it, isn't it? This is how many it was made.
So some distributors will still have some in stock, but if you're planning to get that, I would plan to get that a bit sharpish if you still can. So and luckily I got my copy right here next to me. I've been listening to that all week. It's the one I bought in Randers in Denmark, so I'm happy with it.
It is amazing, and there was actually discs in that one, wasn't there?
There was, yeah. It's a superb set, isn't it?
It really is, and it's another one of those that although I bought it, I do find I listen to it on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
I'll just drop in and I go, I'll just do 3 or 4 takes of this. It's a bit naughty but nice, but I love it.
I've whacked the CDs in the cars. I've been travelling around backwards and forwards to work this week, so I've been really enjoying that. The book inside it is just superb as well. So yes, get your copies of American Sound Studio 1969 before they're all gone, folks. I recommend that. Have you got anything else there?
News-wise, I'm now. I've just been sitting in a self-employed pit of despondence.
Okay. Well, I've got one more for you.
Go on then.
And I'm rather disappointed. I was going to text you a day or two ago and say, why haven't you put this on Facebook first? Because I know it's the Vince Wright news service always goes on when somebody dies. Somebody famous
has died. Yes.
So, and it's always as soon as I saw the news, I thought, hang on, I bet he's posted it. And you hadn't posted it. You did post it eventually, but you hadn't. And that has caused the death, of course, of the legendary Kenny Rogers, aged 81.
Oh, yes.
Passed away this week, yeah.
That was younger than I thought.
Really?
81, yeah.
How much would you? What were you thinking then?
I don't know. I just assumed 90. I don't know why, but
he's looked like that for that's 30 years, hasn't he?
Yeah. He painted up and rolled and curled. Yeah.
But not much of an Elvis connection you would have thought there. But it's a legendary music person nonetheless, and he did actually record some of the same songs as Elvis. I was having a look through the things this morning. He recorded in 1977 the Green Grass of Home, which of course was a Tom Jones thing, but Elvis and Elvis recorded it as well. Let's have a little thing here. You've Lost That Loving Feeling, recorded in 1979, as did Let It Be Me. Christmas songs, everybody recorded the same sort of Christmas songs, but specific Elvis songs that were actually recorded by Elvis in the first instance, so Elvis originals. Can't Help Falling in Love, Kenny Rogers recorded that in 1996. And he also recorded Love Me Tender in 1996 as well. So they're actually original Elvis songs that Kenny Rogers recorded. So go and have a listen to them.
And another thing, in his early work, he did a bit of rockabilly.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the very early stuff he did, yeah. So, not Elvis songs, but Ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dumba anyway, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. And one song that he recorded, and I know you're gonna have something to say about this one. He recorded this song in 1999. It was Loving Arms.
Ha ha!
It was, yeah, there he is.
Now, isn't it funny that you should mention that?
I thought it might be.
Right. Because, by strange coincidence, the boozers have shut. They signed the pledge at Runnymede, closed the boozers at 10:30. Right? According to Tony Hancock. Right. We're all behind this.
I'm not going to know who Tony Hancock is. He was a famous British comedian of the 50s and 60s.
Swipe me, you've had to tell him. Right. The lad himself.
He's on Spotify. Go and have a listen to him.
Funny as ... Right.
Yes, so yes.
We decided that shutting the pubs.
Run for the hills. The pubs are closed.
The pubs are closed. Now we are big Elvis fans, but we're also camera members. So we like our ale, right?
We do indeed. It's been said.
It's good for what ails you, right? So what we have decided is we have.
I bet if Davenports came back with their slogan "Beer at Home," they'd make millions these days, wouldn't they?
Well, have you seen the pubs that are delivering? Yeah.
Good for them, yeah.
No, that's good. So what we come up with
Yes.
We've come up with, through Talking Elvis, we are now inviting you to our virtual boozer.
We have
right, and our virtual boozer is now called the Loving Arms. See what I did there? Right.
Very clever. Yeah.
And we have our little pub, and everybody is welcome, and everybody is safe, and it's really good. So, should we go and wander in, see what it's like?
Let's go and have some online drinking, shall we?
You're listening to Talking Elvis with Vince Wright and Ian Gray.
Okay, welcome, Ian. You are the first customer in my new pub, my new virtual pub. My what should we say? It's a virtual pub. It is my cyber tavern, my internet boozer, whatever you want to call it, right? And we welcome you all in. It's all safe. Everybody can come in, and it's our Elvis themed pub. So, first off, I've got to get you a pint.
Yes, indeed.
I've only got 2 beers on at the moment, Ian. I'd like you to take your pick. I've got a lovely pint of Hound Dog, which is a real thing. Look it up, folks.
It is a real
we had it at the beer festival, didn't we?
We did indeed. It's very nice too.
And because I only offer 2 beers at the moment, but trust me, because I'm catering for all types of Elvis fans, the other beer I have on is a pint of St. Austell's Tribute. Right.
Oh, very clever.
Like that. Yeah. Right. So that's what we've got at the moment.
Can't whack a pint of Tribute, mate, I tell you.
Yeah. So you're going to have a pint of Tribute. I'll have a pint of Tribute.
Yeah, Tribute and then, for me.
If you need to know where the toilets are, there's obviously just up the corner there. You'll see Long-Legged Girl written on one door and Big Boss Man on the other. I think you can figure it out.
Don't use too much toilet roll.
Fantastic. Right. So we'll push this a little bit more. We'll get some more things lined up. Obviously, there is a jukebox stocked with everything Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
Every
not
track
40
you could
greats, all 800 and something tracks, yeah.
Everything, every bootleg, every Follow That Dream, everything. It is the best jukebox in the world, but also every other song in the world, because sometimes we need to sing Tom Jones's Delilah when you've had a few, right?
It's been known.
Right. So if we go through this door here,
okay, yeah,
this is the ballroom. Dun, 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 where we will go. We will have 24 hours a day at Elvis Disco.
Wow. Fantastic.
Are you game?
Absolutely.
And it's all safe. So what I'd ask you, the listener, and you, the people that want to come and join us, email us, Facebook us, anything. Tell us what beer you want in here. Tell us what you want on the jukebox. Dedicate things to your mates, and we've got the radio show as well. We'll also encourage this on there as well. So what do you think?
I think a weekly visit from the radio show will be very good. I think
we'll definitely be in here for
incorporate that. Yeah, yeah.
I think that we've got we will get our guest DJs, I think, to do the discos in there. We'll obviously be selling peanut butter and banana anything in the catering. You know, we are next to the Cantonese, so we can always get food from there. That's the Jailhouse Walk, very nice place next door, and I'm sure there's plenty more that we can find. That's it. I'm going to encourage a happy hour, which I was going to call happy ending, but the council didn't like that. So yeah, we changed that. But there's plenty more to go on then. So you heard it here first. Our virtual, our tavern, our little boozer, our cyber tavern, our internet boozer, our virtual ale house, whatever you want to call it. Ale house rock. Oh, that's what I hadn't thought of.
Well done. Well done. And you know what? Like, and you know what? You know what? We never close.
Oh, last orders at the bar just means last orders this hour.
Yes, indeed. Yes, it gives us a chance to restock, shall we say?
Oh, that's good. So you're all welcome. You can all this. You can tie your hound dog up outside. It'll be all right. Everybody's happy. I think we need another jingle.
Find us at www.talkingelvis.co.uk or Facebook or YouTube or Spotify. In fact, any place you get your podcasts.
Right, well, I've just ordered my second pint of tribute, so thank you very much for that.
It goes down very well, doesn't it?
Lovely, lovely real ale. You can't beat your real ales, folks. Actually, we say we're doing the discos in the ballroom next door. So I can remember my first Elvis Disco was back in '87. Yeah. So when was yours? Where did you go for yours?
First thing ever blew me away. So it depends where you're from around here. Do you remember the Powerhouse?
Yeah, that was in Birmingham City Centre.
In Birmingham City Centre. Yeah. It was an all-dayer, and I'd never done, and it was early 80s. It's got to be, 81, 82, something like that. And it was always Elvis were behind it. And it was a proper nightclub setting, store selling albums, big screen stuff. So, the first time I saw all the Ed Sullivans and the outtakes from 68 special, a film on all day, and obviously the disco there, and that was the first time I knew that loud Elvis and beer was the best combo.
Oh, they went together.
Yeah, it really was. It was the peanut butter and jelly of entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I remember. It's like my first one was. So you're talking early 80s there. I mean, I don't know how old would you have been then? It's like 18-ish, give it.
What's that? 84. Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah.
So
because I went to my first one, and I think it was either 87 or 88. I can't remember what exactly. And of course, I come from Birmingham as well. But my first one wasn't in Birmingham. My first one was at Leamington Spa over in Warwickshire.
Oh, yes. What's his name?
At the Spa Centre, and that was hosted by a fellow called Gil Priest.
Yes.
And he ran the Warwickshire branch of the Elvis Presley fan club, which I went on to run or help run a few years later. But Gil Priest was there. That was the first time. Me and a fellow called Cliff Rhodes went to that. And we got in touch with Gil before. We went over on the train and got our dad to pick us up to bring us home.
Was he the DJ?
He was, yeah.
Was
and I think he employed one or two others to help him out, but he principally did it. The Spa Centre was a very, very big sort of place in the middle of Leamington Spa, and that was absolutely packed from people from all over the country. And I hadn't experienced loud Elvis in that before, It
is wonderful, isn't it? It's a real moment, isn't it? When you just go, there are more people like me.
Absolutely, yeah. And I remember the drama of it because we rolled up, we got on the train, went to Leamington Spa. Before you get to the Spa Centre, you got to go from the station, and you have to go sort of towards the town centre. And of course, then you see, oh, hang on, there's a pub. so we know this thing's starting at 7:30. But of course, you go to the pub, so we had a couple of pints. We went to the Spa Centre and got the bar there. And I remember that all the tables all around the big sort of auditorium sort of thing, and the place went dark, and it was very dramatic. I thought, oh my God, what's going on here? I had no idea what to expect.
Put another shilling in the meter.
Mm-hmm. And then what he did the beginning of I think the music was Phantom of the Opera. The big organs and stuff like this, and one or two snippets of Elvis talking and stuff like that, and then the music built up into 2001, and then bang, it was like it was just like it was an eye opener for me. It was like a jaw dropper because I'd never experienced that.
That is great.
We should
recreate that
stuff at home. Yeah, I mean, I'd gone straight from playing music at home straight into this, and it was incredible, absolutely amazing. Always remember that day. That's my first day.
It is that thing of suddenly finding you're amongst your own, is it? Yeah. I remember they played Sweet Caroline, and I was a bit of an anorak because you know me, so I knew it. And this bloke was going, "What are they playing Neil Diamond for? What are they playing Neil Diamond for? Elvis never recorded this. Elvis never recorded this." And I had my first Anoraki debate. It was great.
Well,
and they're going, yeah, and I'm like, because I'm the time, and I'm telling him what album it was, the catalogue number, everything. And then
you still say that to me now.
I know, I really am quite sad. I do need to get out more, but I'm in lockdown. And then the next thing, this chap turned up next to me, some 50s guy, in the jacket in Jailhouse Rock, the jacket.
Yes.
That he wears. Well, he had that on.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there with my pint, and he takes his jacket off. So I'm going for a dance. Will you look after this? And I go in, He trusts me, a complete stranger, with this jacket that I would actually kill for, but I am trustworthy. Oh, yeah. But it was like, and he went off and did his bit. And then I went off and said, watch me pint. And, and we did it. And it was that sort of first time you go to an Elvis do, when they were big. That was amazing. Did you do a lot of little local ones as well?
I did afterwards. We concentrated because we got to know Gil and his family and all the people in Leamington Spa at the time. We got to go to their monthly dues.
Yeah.
And I didn't really do the Birmingham ones until about 2 years after that, because Birmingham was like you just hopped on a bus and you were there.
Well, I was going to say, where was Birmingham? That used to be at not the Rotunda.
Used to be the Irish Centre.
The Irish Centre. And
Digbeth,
what's the other pub?
Oh, crikey, yes.
I used to go up there all the time.
Yeah. There was one on the market, wasn't there?
That's it.
The Matador.
The Matador. Oh, yes.
The Matador up on Birmingham Bull Ring.
Did you ever do that?
I did once, yeah.
So I did that regular. That was Michael Coyle, wasn't it?
Coyle, the Irishman used to do that. Yeah. Because every time I spoke to him, the only thing he was interested is because the Irish connection was like, where'd your family come from? I said, Mike, I told you last time.
Yeah.
It's like because he liked a pint, didn't he? So Mike,
yeah. Do you remember him and his mates? We went to Nottingham to the ITV studios for that tribute show they did to Elvis.
Yeah.
And all the way between here and Nottingham. I don't know about you lads, but I'd like a Guinness. It was fantastic. We had a good night then. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this is I didn't get to as many Birmingham ones. It's weird, really, because in between that first one of going to Leamington Spa, and we went to Leamington Spa then for 2 or 3 years, every month almost. Apart from the odd one or two in Birmingham, the next ones I tended to do was much later in the 90s.
Oh, right. So that you never did because before I knew you, you never did the Dudley Courthouse.
No.
Now that for me that was my eye opener. So I'd done the Powerhouse, and then it must have been a couple of months later, I found out that in Dudley at the Courthouse pub, they were doing it, and I got so excited. I went, I'd got my rosette, my badge, my wristband. I'd got the works going, and arrived an hour early. So I ended up putting the posters up and everything. I just got too excited. And that was Margaret Watkins, and the DJ was Neil Williams.
Mr. Neil Williams, yes.
Whatever happened to him, eh? We've got to get him on the show.
We really have got to get Neil on
the show.
We've got
to get him on the show. I spoke to him the other day. He's willing to.
He'll be self-isolating, so he'll have plenty of time.
So we'll get him on here. Neil, if you're listening, and if you're not, why not? We'll need to talk to you. So that Neil. Was amazing because
the legend that is Neil. Yeah.
The legend that is Neil, who is still doing the discos to this very day. But I remember he was playing before the disco properly started. He played the Can't Help Falling in Love, where Elvis swears.
Wow.
And I went, hello, I've not got this. This is not right. Why haven't I got this? We became great mates, and for years. So those were great. Now those days for me, I don't know how many people used to turn up, but it was a sweaty little room. It was always good. Do you remember the set dances? I mean, they still do a lot of them now, but the time I remember, do you remember DISCO when they used to do ELVIS?
Vaguely. I remember that happening when I went to a do in Leicester the one time at one of these hotels. And it strikes me looking back on it now. This is just coming to my head that you and me may well have been in the same room in the same building on more than one occasion before we actually knew each other.
We really ought to go and look at the old photo albums and say,
there's got to be like one of you and me, you in the background or me in the background or something.
If I look, I go, is that some bloke in a Villa shirt? I'll go,
a bloke in a tie.
It was, but then like I was the thing. I'm never claimed to be the greatest dancer and everything, but you just love it. Nobody ever took the mickey, did they? I nearly said something else. Nobody ever takes the mickey, but it was good. You could just get up and do it, and the set dances. I mean, I could never jive. I've been learning to jive for 50 years. I just
no,
I can't. I don't coordinate like that. I just do white man's overbite, which is my skill of dancing. But you know that the set dances come up and you'd get really excited because Frankfurt Special had come on or Jeva, and
it's bizarre, isn't it? It's like
you're so excited of the drums of the island.
And if I'm gonna upset some people here now, but is I Can Help the most brain dead thing you can ever do at an Elvis disco? Until line dancing came in, anyway.
The thing with the I Can Help was great, isn't it? Because there are never, in a room of 200 people at a disco, there are never two people in sync, right?
And what does everybody do at the end? Nobody knows.
Oh, yeah. Nobody
knows that bit, you know?
Yeah. You think, DJ, fade it out, fade it out, fade it out.
And you know what? I used to go into that and used to go and do I Can Help with I used to rush to the floor.
Yeah.
And I bet you did as well.
You really had to...
but now when I hear it, I used to go for a cigarette or when I smoked, or now I go to the bar instead. You know, it's just like, oh, it's this one again, you know.
You see, so you've just confessed a lot there. You've just said it was cigarettes, beer, but originally it was women. You rushed to the front to stand next to a pretty girl. I know.
I did. I can't deny that. So you've always got your eye on one or two, and you're thinking you're too shy to talk to them.
Yeah.
So let's go and stand next to them, and if you know the lyrics to the song, you're even better because they go, oh, he knows the lyrics to the song.
Yeah, you're an anorak.
But if I went to like 200 Elvis discos, right? I think I probably ended up with a woman probably once or twice.
And it's that thin line, isn't it? I'm a bit shy. I'm sweaty and pissed, right?
Didn't help really, did it?
Yeah. So you just had that one moment, a window of opportunity in between shy and sweaty, that you had a chance.
So why didn't they put the slow songs on at 9 o'clock at night rather than all these fast moving ones? That would have helped us, wouldn't it?
Well, I'd say if you played a blooming bit of rockabilly followed by I wash my hands in muddy waters, I'm done. Right.
Never mind Queenie or Wahini, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I mean that one I could do it back in the day, but now I'm having heart palpitations thinking about it.
Yeah. And don't get us started on Barefoot Ballad, for crying out loud.
Oh, I have one of my
time.
It's for this week because hey, we've got time on my hands. I've been transferring all my old videos.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah.
And I should put this all together eventually. But I found loads of snippets of discos that we've done over the years. I found the Stu Pony, the War Memorial. Oh. I found all sorts of bits on film. And I'll put them on the site eventually of discos we did in the past.
Oh, wow.
But also, when I went to Memphis with the fan club in '85, the disco there, I am followed by the cameraman doing Barefoot Ballad. I am off me whatsits.
Wow.
I'm having a great time.
I think I've probably got some footage somewhere as well. I must.
We ought to get all this together.
This is the time to do it.
One other thing that I always found in these is the little snippets of video that I did. I always did the bit where the flags came out. Or you had to rush to the front for Trilogy.
Yeah.
Now I'm sounding here very retro. Some people are still doing this every Saturday anyway. I'm not knocking that. We just haven't done it for a while. It's why we're sort of talking retro. We'll have to get round to this again because we love loud Elvis.
We used to both take a flag each, didn't we? And whack and do that for the end of the night or whatever. But now we just turn up with a couple of quid in our pockets with the intention of going to the bar. So
Yes, that is it.
We have evolved. Or
we
devolved.
We don't dance for un peso. Yeah.
No, we certainly don't. No longer got the ability to.
But yes, that's the trouble, isn't it? But the disco is still so good. But you mentioned line dancing earlier. The strollers really took off.
God, don't. They drive me bonkers. This is rock and roll music we're listening to here. And you're line dancing to it. You shouldn't be line dancing to a rock and roll song. Surely you should not be doing it. Stop doing it. Did I say that out loud.
I think you've made it clear there. So we've said about the 1-day events and the local monthly ones.
Yeah.
What about Hemsby? That was the thing, wasn't it? Going to Pontins, Hemsby.
Oh man,
You'd made a whole week of this sort of nonsense. It's
now
amazing.
Again, before we even knew each other, we've been at the same Hemsby, haven't we? We've been at the same Pontins because we've described the acts that were on, we've described the people that were there, and what we got up to, and all this sort of stuff. And we were in the same room, we're in the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, back in the 80s, there was squillions of people at these events.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And then when was the first one for you and me? I think it was around about 93, 94.
Oh yes, when it was Neil again, wasn't it? Neil decided that we should both be coming, and if we if I shacked up with this weird bloke who I hardly know, we could save £5 or something.
Yeah, we had separate bedrooms, folks. I have to give it,
just in case, eh?
Yeah. I turned up a day late, and you weren't best impressed with the fact that I turned up a day late in the first place, because my excuse was I had to go to the football match.
Which is where me and Neil had already christened him World Cup Willie.
But I did make up for the fact that when I arrived, you met me and you decided out of the goodness of your heart, even though you probably didn't want to help me with my luggage. And what was the first thing I handed to you?
Bottle of Jameson's.
and a cool box full of beer.
Yeah.
And I thought, here we go.
Hello, this could work.
So there we go, and that starts the history of what we do. But yeah, Pontins, Hemsby, and the Elvis Week, was just a remarkable thing, wasn't it? Because, like you said, every single chalet was packed. The ballroom every single night was packed. There was an atmosphere of which, again, that was a unique atmosphere, wasn't it? Because you made new friends, didn't you?
It was a festival. It really, really was. And I'd love to go again, but I know the numbers are down. But me at 25 is different to me at 55. I'm not going to be the same, but you can never take that away from us.
Shall we make a pledge to go to the next available one? Because it may not be on this year, but maybe the year after. Maybe we should make the effort, and maybe we should.
Yeah, so we'll wait for the zombie apocalypse, and then if that's not happened, then yes, you heard it here, folks.
We could do a full documentary there, can't we?
Yeah. Oh yeah. and it's funny that I think with these things, if the listener out there isn't aware of these, it's a very British thing, and I didn't realise that till I went with the fan club to America in '85, and we had discos every night, and obviously the locals came, and we had what they called Meet the Brits, and we were all, get some beer down your neck, we're going to dance, right? Was our view. And the American audience at the time, then we found they were coming in going, Elvis was a good man, and it was all quite solemn, if you like.
Really?
So you had to educate them into, get some beer down your neck, and we're going to have a bop, right?
Oh, right, because I never did that sort of community thing when I went to Graceland and to Memphis, because I just went on a private holiday and just did it myself.
Well, I didn't
have the community thing.
Yeah, I did Hemsby up the road from Graceland. Is how I treated it. So you just went drinking and womanizing and looking at Graceland. It was fantastic. But we did all those discos like that, and then how did we start doing our own branches? There's a bit of a missing link there, isn't it? Because we were doing. I did local stuff with Neil, so I started working on the discos with him.
Yep.
And then I dropped out the Elvis world a bit. Then somehow we opened the Stourbridge fan club and the Cambridge fan club, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I mean, in the middle of all that sort of stuff, I moved away, didn't I? I moved away from the area. We kept in touch and would go on a session every now and then. I think, you know what? I think we just missed being in the same sort of room where we were playing loud Elvis together.
Yeah, and we got to play. We got to play it ourselves.
So we got some gear ourselves, didn't we? So speakers and disco equipment and a few lights and stuff like that. And I think we just decided to go for it. And we did like every couple of months. I think it was in Cambridge, and like every couple of months in Stourbridge. And I think it was a good excuse for us to get together and to laugh and to have fun and to drink and listen to loud Elvis music. There's a common fact here.
Yeah.
There's a common denominator here, isn't there?
the theme matches, yes.
Yeah. And we gave it a real good go, didn't we? Because we invested in equipment, we invested in locations, and of course, you never made a penny out of it. It was always you always lose money. So because we tried our best, we decorated the stages, we invited people along, we gave out prizes, we did the whole thing, didn't we? And it was just
yeah, it's a shame.
I look back.
I would still say that the prime thing we did, and that would have been at Stourbridge in the Neil days. We did the Annette Day, and I think that was kind of still the pinnacle when we had our all dayer with that. With the DJ, the disco today, who would you say are the leading lights?
Well, we've mentioned Neil. We do still love Neil. We have the legend that is Dave Richards in London, in England.
Yeah, I think that's always that's one we've managed to sort of pop into more than the local ones over the last few years, isn't it?
Yes,
always good to go. And Phil
Shakespeare, of course, over in Oldbury. I'll tell you, his dues are well attended every month and well done.
He works his top for that lot. So I think we need to get all three of them on. Because for me, they're the three flying the flag.
There's still Mark Monaghan, who's doing over the Northampton way. We should try and get a hold of him because he's still doing dues over in Northampton. I think he was originally in Warwickshire years ago, but I think he's sort of moved slowly eastward out towards Northampton. So you got him.
Go east, young man.
Indeed, right. Yes. You've got the Elvis Touch up in Glasgow. I think that's a weekend we should consider at some point because they do regular dues, don't we, up in Glasgow? So
that one would tie in with our other little plan, wouldn't it?
A little trip to a certain airport, yeah. So we could do that as well. They have a do there actually in their bar every couple of years or so. So that's something we should look out for as well. So yeah, it's still going on in the UK, and well done to those who are managing to keep the numbers up and keep the interest up. That's very good. You also see sort of very mixed ages, don't you? Because people are bringing along their families, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, but then some of the people bringing along the families were the kids when we were going.
It's
the next generation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The numbers aren't the same as they used to be.
No.
And there is a lot of it was us.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? The 80s was such a good time for the Elvis world. Sounds quite sad, but it's
the only way you got to hear anything was either wait for the Elvis Monthly to come through the post, or go to an actual do and talk to people because you didn't have social media, you didn't have the internet, and now you can find out everything on the internet. You can own everything through buying it through the internet. You can watch your DVDs, you can watch your documentaries. There's no need to go out and see if you or Vince or Neil or me or Dave is playing something new because we've already got it.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, isn't it? But the camaraderie is the thing that we miss, and us, older generation. We're not old, but older generation now. We're the ones who are trying to cling on to that, aren't we?
Well, yeah, and I think I was watching some of these videos where I'm remembering that we were reasonably young. And there was these old guys who, they were the fat and 40s.
Yeah.
And we were going, not move over granddad, but it was just like, I wonder if we'll be like that then. And yes,
I remember. Yeah, indeed. I remember saying those exact words to you at one of the Hemsby dues at the holiday camp. I remember saying to you, and this, I remember it word for word, looking over at these blokes who were 40 and 50 years old, saying, do you reckon we'll be doing that when we get to their age?
Yeah.
I remember it clear as day.
Then, won't we?
I remember it clear as day, and like you said, yes, we are.
Yeah. And I think this has been a lovely thing that I've never had any trouble at one. You know, you've had the "Are you looking at my bird?" occasionally, and I probably was.
You know what you can do with your beer.
Oh, there's one for another show. Yeah, but it was you know, it was never really a problem. Even you drank too much, you got rid of it, you came back, you started again.
That sounds absolutely disgusting, doesn't it? But it did happen from time to time.
And you know, the discos went on till last man standing, didn't they?
Yeah, especially the ones in the holiday camps. They may have closed the bar at midnight, but you know the disco was still going on till about 1:30, 2:00, wasn't it? Sometimes.
But you had been drinking for 14 hours, so it was probably all right, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, that time you were well oiled. Yeah, I would suppose.
All right. So I think we've had a nice reflection.
Yeah.
Of the discos, and I think we've covered all angles of it. Is there anything that we've missed there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we could probably do a whole program just on festivals rather than the actual one-off night discos.
I think we should.
We could do that because we've got all sorts of stories to tell.
But we still need your input. This isn't just our autobiography.
Yeah. What do you remember, folks? What do you do? What people who are listening to? If you can hear our voice now, and you interacted with us at Pontins, at Stourbridge, at Birmingham, at Cambridge, wherever you've in London, and seen us walk out of a place absolutely sloshed at 9:00 at night and never to remember what happened for the rest of the night.
I know. I went over the bridge twice.
So if you remember any stories with us, or just bring us your own stories, you can go Ian at talkingelvis.co.uk. You can go Vince at talkingelvis.co.uk. You can get in touch. There's a web form via the talkingelvis.co.uk website as well, where you can contact us and all sorts of stuff like that. So because we have met so many people over the years at these do's, at these Elvis discos, just one-off nights, or at Pontins, at Hemsby, or whatever, or weekenders in Breen, wherever. We've met so many lovely people. We've met so many people we don't really want to talk to, so you can stay away. But yeah, get in touch, and we can do more programs on this. We can reminisce with your memories.
Excellent stuff. Right. Well, I think we're sat here at the bar in the Loving Arms. We've had a couple of pints of tribute. I think, is it time for a bit of a Tennessee whiskey?
That sounds like a very good idea to me. We're coming to the end of the broadcast, aren't we? So
just the one finger, and maybe a thumb, and a foot. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to go with those big foam hands you can get at football stadiums. So let's go with one of those, shall we?
Give me a shot of red eye and a dirty glass. Yeah, we'll get the wake up juice for after. I think that's marvelous.
Yeah, it's all good. So if you have been, thank you for listening. Don't forget to listen to the other shows if you're still catching up. There's 7 previous to this one, and stay well, stay safe.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
A little more conversation with talkingelvis.co.uk.